I mean, what that means is we're not gonna start adding back trains that we've taken out, just, you know, but we're gonna, does that make any sense or no?
Yeah, we'll get the summer pack.
Are they, is that when they're doing a lot of the connection, Hudson Line connection, or, what is it, Hudson
I believe there is
Connection?
there's further impacts coming later in the summer, but I don't have all these
Yeah,
details.
yeah,
That's all going to,
yeah, that's all,
Grand Central.
yeah, that all affects, that affects.
All the Empire service will be going to Grand Central, except for the
Yeah,
Lake
but
Shore.
does
Yeah.
that, but
The
does
same
Amtrak
should
just
be
plan
like
to
last.
work on that side of Penn Station and not on our side?
I don't have.
We don't know, right? I haven't heard anything one way or the other on that. That appears to be what they're gonna do, at least that, but I don't know if they're gonna do separate impacts.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of anything other than track 19 that's on the,
Right.
in the LIRR area, but could be.
Can you talk about a positive train control, what's happening with that?
Oh.
Or you're not prepared for that?
No, I mean, they started last week and they started, at the Port Wash branch, they've been doing testing on the weekends, so what that means is, you know, they've been putting these transponders in the field, they've been putting equipment on the trains, so they're actually running live trains and seeing how everything actually works, to see if it's working, that's what that testing is about.
Because at some point, we have to get weekend service back on, you know, east of Hicksville. At some point, because it's every weekend.
It's gonna get worse. No, so,
As weather gets
That's not
nicer, it's
PTC.
Some-
no, that's not,
well,
The
It's
there's
not-
PTC is
going to
only
be,
for Washington.
but there's gonna be some PTC work on the weekends.
but also what's coming is, trying to, wrapping up the double track, finishing that up,
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna cause more impact to service on the main line in the summer.
On the main line?
Between Farmingdale and Concord.
Oh, I don't call that the main line. What's the pun, huh?
Squeeze people.
Between Hicksville,
Everybody else does.
Hicksville and Jamaica, well, Hicksville and Penn Station, to
Anything
me,
else,
that's the
anything
main
else you
line.
can tell us about East Side Access? Anything you can tell us about that? It's on schedule?
Whatever Janos has said is what I like to say.
Anything about the one-seat ride to Brooklyn?
Uh,
No.
Anybody talking about it? I mean, people don't want it.
well, some people
They
don't.
do
I
want
mean,
You mean the crossover?
The crossover.
Well,
Yeah.
I
again,
bring it up and people
so-
go, no, I'm not gonna ride.
So if I wanted to be funny, I would say that the solution to this missing connections would be we're gonna get rid of that, because actually between East Side Access and that, there's not gonna be any connections. Trains are gonna stop and go. That's right now the plan.
That's always been
Yeah.
the answer, but it's
That's
No,
what,
but so then I
Pat
think
said,
I think that the later position is that we could revisit that.
People go out of their way for those one-seat.
He's got some.
We could. I think there's a possibility that could be revisited, but then it's going to be like, okay. So what's the choice? Do you want to have, let's say, pick one or two branches? They're going to have the one-seat ride, and then they're not going to go. They're not going to have one-seat ride to East Side Access, or like decisions have to be made.
can I just say that there is a middle ground here? You could have several branches or trains having the one-seat ride, and then you could have what exists now, an across the platform transfer. That is very different than having to go up over the new platform F, down, and take a shuttle. Very different.
Very good.
Yeah, well, that's the shuttle is a transfer up and over. And right now, I don't know, it seems that it's what's Far Rockaway and Long Beach seems to be the
Far
trains
Rock,
most.
Far Rock is the
Most
one.
of-
Far Rock and one of the
Hempstead.
Hempsteads.
And Hempstead.
Yeah,
Hempstead.
West
West,
Hempstead.
West, I think,
Hempstead.
yeah.
Hempstead goes to Brooklyn?
Hempstead.
Hempstead.
Those are the ones that go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have to send them all to Brooklyn. And I don't understand, that's such another time. Still 4 tracks on the main line.
I mean, I think-
Regardless, no, but in Queens, between Jamaica and Manhattan. I mean, you could send all those Port Washington trains, you know, they all have to go to Manhattan. They can't go to Brooklyn. So they could fill East Side Access with Port Washington
So
trains.
you're done?
They don't have enough.
Before we let them go and go back over what we skipped over, do you have any questions for them right now? This is the time they're here.
Just on this communications one, the number 1 is conduct Long Island Railroad focus group studies and surveys. I assume you're going to keep the council involved in those.
Yes.
So they had done some preliminary focus groups. They're going to continue that, and then one thing that's going to be starting is going to be monthly surveys. So as this gets implemented, this plan, They're gonna be doing monthly surveys, and then we're gonna be reporting on those. That's gonna be part of the dashboard, the results of those surveys monthly.
And again, how are you doing it, by online, or gonna be handing them out?
I don't know how they're doing it, but they're working on. how
Just so
they're
you know,
gonna
I've taken the
They've
training
they've
since
actually
19.
had
Okay.
focus groups that they sit in the room,
Yeah, right.
commuters from different backgrounds,
Right.
different
The
areas.
surveys and
And they
everything,
sit in
just-
there and they have somebody who asks them a series of questions and they respond, et cetera.
Well, As
And-
far as the surveys, I've been taking the training since 1986, I've never once been given a survey. Just so
I wouldn't keep it on.
I wouldn't take it from you. I'm just, so I don't know what the procedure is, but I've never gotten one. I've done all the branches.
Do you see all the time, you see them walking up and down, but
No.
no one's looking, no, but they never stop and
They
talk
never
to
stop,
anybody,
no,
that's
no.
right.
So, anyway, so that's
Oh,
what.
so here's
you
your
wanna
answer.
revisit how you
Here's
do
your
it.
answer. I got, this is the script,
Only
so.
handsome.
He's going
Uh,
through because he's on his phone.
This new survey, the market research consultant will be responsible for sampling, programming an online survey, ongoing administration and monthly reporting of an online communication tracking survey. It will consist of a series of questions that will be repeated every month. The results will be, and appropriate data will be reported monthly to track changes in customer opinions. And then they will be solicited from combining existing databases and email addresses into one panel. So it's gonna be a monthly thing online.
So we can do emojis and everything.
So.
All right, well, anybody else have anything
Yeah.
for them? Okay.
Now, when Amtrak's doing this work, is there anybody coordinating with them as far as like doing corrective work where maybe the tracks don't line up with the platform? I think this was track 15.
Yeah, that was a big problem.
Now, that's after the work's been done. So you would think since you took track 15 out, not you, I mean, since Amtrak took track 15 out and you have that situation, why couldn't they have corrected it when they were doing the track work? So I mean, you just spend all that time, all that effort, and yet you still have an unsafe condition that existed before they did the track work. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I sent that to you.
I mean, it's an Amtrak, I mean, Amtrak was responsible for it, but you're the guys who are gonna get the lawsuit if someone goes in that crack or someone, someone trips or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, that's track 15. But that's after the renovation.
Is the threshold plate something on this point?
Not related to that.
Okay.
It's just a issue. So,
Good point. Anybody else? Mike, you have anything you want to?
No, I think.
The communications, anything you want to come by him with your issues?
I'm good for now.
Mike, you have issues? anything
Just the
you
signage,
Can you bring that back, Stan, about the Hicksville, the new Hicksville signs?
the new Hicksville sign.
If somebody's ADA, like they're not visible.
not,
if someone can't see that well,
can't see them.
yeah, so then, if it was larger, then you wouldn't have to make all those purple, what do you do anyway, because people are completely blind, you ride the train. But,
And direct sunlight is very different than shade. I mean, there's new signage technology that takes advantage of all that.
Right, yeah, whenever they talk about bringing in new signs, they do factor in how visible it is in different conditions, et cetera.
Do they test it with vision impaired folks, limited vision folks?
I'd be lying if I said that I expected, think that they
well, let us
tested
know,
it.
because it's a problem, so maybe they're not
Well,
buying
I'm
the
gonna
right
bring back
signs.
what we, last time, you had discussed there's gonna be worked on at different stations coming up over the next 6 months. We had asked to be involved before you make those plans for that issue, because when Mike brought up issues, it helped when we were asked beforehand on some. And since then, we haven't heard anything, so I'm gonna re-ask again that before you make these different plans, that you run it by us so we can give you perspectives of things. If you're gonna make the changes, you're gonna work at the stations and the tracks that you said you would, but then nothing's happened since, so I'm gonna re-ask on the record that you work with us on that, because I think you'd be surprised at a lot of things you wouldn't think of that we can be helpful. Right, Mike?
Well, yeah, one example, I mean, the signs here are great because I can walk right up to them and see them. However, in Jamaica, there's a 4-foot gap between the sign and, because of the schedules that are all stuffed in there, and it's just real difficult. So I'll try to, if I need to read the sign, I'll go down to the end where the entrance is to the airtrack.
But there was something on the app you gave a suggestion for last time.
Yeah, the app, when they were installing the app, when they created the app, a friend of mine was playing with it and said it doesn't work.
I mean,
with visual, audio.
actually, they're developing a new app, and I believe they reached out to the community to get some folks to
But
test
not
it.
to us.
No, they reached, oh, I'm talking about the app now.
Yeah,
They
I'm saying,
reached out.
but, so you
So
were
we
able
had-
to,
we
get
had,
that feedback helped.
We had the guy come in that was working on creating the app, leading that team, and he put my guy in touch with the team, made a couple of tweaks in the programming, and it works.
So-
It was that
so
easy.
It's great to go right to community, but we're right here. We're appointed for this reason so, again, asking, come to us, we're here, you know, I mean,
That was a guy who spoke their language, I don't speak his language, that app language.
And to tell you the truth, Mark says, ask us, probably one of the best meetings I think that we had was our unofficial meeting when we went out to Jamaica, because when we got to sit in the conference room and actually talk to you guys and give you the customer experience, I thought that was, it was great, because you're actually hearing, what we're experiencing out in the field. And some of it's not all negative. I mean, I've noticed a couple of improvements recently. One of the things, you don't always do it, but it seems like you're trying, is if you're not gonna make your regular connection, you'll actually put that now on the email alerts. The 536 is a big culprit. It doesn't usually make it to Babylon on time. At least once a week it doesn't. But now you're putting in there, you're not making your normal connection. The next train is going to pick you up, which is the 617 out of Jamaica. So people know they're going to be 15 minutes late getting home. So at least they could tell their wife, don't put dinner on yet. I'm going to be 15 minutes late. And that makes a difference, believe it or not. Just knowing whether you're going to make your connection or you're going to make the next connection. And I know there's always been a reluctance from the railroad to tell people, well, you're screwed, you're going to be sitting here for an hour and a half. But I've seen that a couple of times recently, mostly on pedestrian strikes. And you'll use the expression based on past experience, you're probably going to be delayed an hour and a half or 2 hours. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that, but they'd rather hear that than hear nothing. I mean, because then okay, I'm stuck. I got to wait for the medical examiner to clear the scene. All right, but and you can you can get on your phone, you can make some calls, take a nap if you want, but So I mean, that kind of information is important and it's appreciated,
I also want
And
to
we
follow
will
up.
do that as often as we can. There are occasions that we don't know. For
Yeah.
example, when we had a recent, must have been a storm went through and it knocked over trees and wires, etc. Con Edison or PSEG, I think it was PSEG, Long Island, had to move those wires.
Right.
Yeah.
Took them about 3 days. Now, yeah, we went 2 hour, based on past experience, it takes 2 hours, and the person stood there based on us
Yeah.
saying that and found out 3 days later there's still no service, then we would have been.
Yeah, that's-
So we try, when we have an idea,
Yeah.
we will put that information out, but when we have no idea how long it's gonna take us.
Oh, no,
it's depending
Live wires
outside
on the
of-
track, we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
That
That's-
should be the alert, Con Ed, say what's going on.
Right, we did
Wires
tell
are
people,
down,
PSEG, Long Island has wires on the track.
My follow-up is going back to when we did the pledge to riders. We had asked when there's problems and service is out,
Yeah.
you're supposed to give alternate means of transportation. Right now it says you take this branch, that branch, don't. We've asked really, can't you guys also, I would also like it directed to local bus service,
Right,
county and private service, not just your bus,
but
but directed towards where they can look and see. Go to Hicksville, there's bus lines running. So
there are
that's net-
occasions when
there is
that
no-
does happen. For
I've never seen
example, when we had the fire, in fact, the people on that train, because we didn't know how long we were gonna be back in service because of the fire, the conductor said to people, there's a bus downstairs going to Jamaica, it leaves in 3 minutes. And everybody on that train was able to run off to get on that bus. But the truth of the matter is that when we go down on a branch, there's not enough buses for any of those entities that's gonna accommodate the number of customers we have.
But I'm talking about not your buses.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about,
Well,
we've
that's-
been
yeah,
called by, let's say, NICE, And they've said to us, stop directing people to take our bus. We can't accommodate the number of people you are driving toward our
It runs
service.
into inadequate service to the minimum.
You know, a train carries 1,200 people, a bus carries 50 people, or 100 people.
Yeah,
You send people to catch that bus, you're creating chaos for, you know, those. So when we're able to, we'll give them that information, but, you know, there will be times we'll get a call from that bus entity and say, listen, guys, could you please stop doing that because we can't really accommodate.
Well,
So-
but we have to come up with an answer, because that's, I mean, we'll be involved in that, it's not good enough.
Right.
Because you saw what happened repeatedly with our press release, that when that happens, we've got taxis that are gouging riders.
Right.
So, you know, we're giving no answer to riders.
So-
Just saying, don't go on this branch is not an alternative.
Right. Well, what we
So
usually
we're
do
up
is
for talking about it.
we suggest alternate branches that'll get you within a
Yeah,
close
but you can't,
enough
but
vicinity.
if you're coming in, you can't park at those places. You don't have a parking
Well,
stick,
that's the
you
other,
can't park
that's the
there.
other
So
problem
it's not an
we
alternative
have,
for a lot of
is
people.
that when we tell people, well, go here, now you have to factor in the parking thing.
Yeah, and they'll get tickets when they come
Right,
home.
precisely.
So it's, I understand it's complicated, but we need to keep kicking the can down, and it's not helping the riders. I think that we need to tackle a lot of these issues. And we have no problem bringing in the county executives and tell, I mean, there should be a conversation that's beyond just the railroad.
I know this is probably a couple of years down the line, but with technology things, is there any possibility that somewhere you can actually send out graphics with email alerts? One of the things that happened, and again, I'm trying to be more positive these days, there was an issue, seriously, there was an issue where Mineola got wiped out for whatever reason, and nothing was running through there. And the railroad was very quick to respond. He did the zigzag service. But commuters couldn't understand, I'm going to take a train to Babylon, I'm going to get to Ronkonkoma. That can't happen. You know, but if, I don't know where I saw this, but
We
you
do
had
have a
this,
graphic,
you had
yes.
this graphic here that
Right.
showed, you go to Babylon, then you get on, then you go back up to Hicksville and you come out.
Right,
And you could understand it seeing that.
right.
But when people were hearing, I'm gonna get to Port Jefferson by going to Babylon, are they freaking drinking their bathwater? But I mean, it's possible, and if you could show a graphic like that,
Right.
people would understand it.
We've created some common graphics for situations that are common when we come up with alternate service.
Yeah.
And we will be doing more of those types of graphics, including graphics where we show people how to walk to another subway station maybe to
Yeah.
get somewhere.
But the bottom line is, you gotta give the information to the conductors.
Right.
Because the answer every time we ask is, well, you know more than I know. So that's the communication issue that is a stick that has to be overturned.
And they are working very hard to keep the conductors more informed and to get them to take the information they're being given and getting it out to the customers.
Emergencies don't ever leave you. I mean, I was on the train when it died for the blackout, that big blackout that we had. We had no information until the cops came through to evacuate us. That's what, and it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, is when we got, people were pulling windows to get air in the car. You know, stuff like that you don't ever forget. But that was when we got notified. It was when the cops came through to evacuate us.
On that cheering note,
Yep.
we'll let you guys go. We're gonna continue our meeting. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Oh, hold on,
One more
Larry.
thing.
All right, Larry. Last shot.
What would you think, if they can just, again, and I've said this before, stop putting down your on-time, wonderful performance in train time. It is more of a laughing stock. When you're sitting there and you're late every day and you see, we've had a 93% on-time performance.
Thank you, Larry.
Stop sitting there
Please
all
thank you.
the time.
I said it before.
He got his.
All right, let's go back up to the top. You sent the chair's report in?
Yeah.
Any questions on the chair's report?
Yes, this was given out at the meeting. There's no point in talking about it any further, I think we can talk about it. You know, as far as short trains and PTC maintenance, there's been a sore spot, there's actually a PTC board working group, so each every month. I don't know how I got on it, I didn't ask him, I'm on it. one of the problems I see with this is, as we know, PTC adds a little safety. I don't think it adds a great amount. It certainly adds a lot, especially along our railroad for workers, but I think it's being rushed to completion for December.
Yeah, you just want
For the whole railroad. For PTC to be acceptable to the FRA, you only need it operating on one line and then you get approval from the FRA to put it on everything else. But the schedule currently has both Metro and Long Island Railroad having it fully operational in December. Requires a very tight schedule, also requires that there be approval from the FRA. Now, FRA is going to be inundated with approvals. And Metro North Long Island Railroad are probably unique in that they're commuter railroads that already have a lot of overspeed protection. Not as good as PTC, but already have overspeed protection, as we know. So I just feel we're rushing, and there's a lot of, we're sacrificing here because probably the shortage of equipment, I think, is due to PTC. He said that's due to PTC.
Yeah,
It's
that would explains a lot, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see it as being necessary. The other thing is, are we gonna wind up with a shortage of equipment come January because we're so religious, as this PTC has to be on every line? It doesn't, and I hope we don't. And I don't wanna see us say, well, we have to have PTC, so we're gonna be short of equipment. And that's the point that I'm making. I don't know if I'm getting traction there, but anyway, that's on that, and there's a lot of standee. The standee report shows the worst branches were Huntington, Port Washington, Ronkonkoma. Babylon's gonna always be a little bit bad because it's crowded anyway, so, but they have additional standees in those are pretty much the worst branches as far as, probably as a result of short trains. Another thing that I think is important for us to know, I have a list of track work programs, I'm not gonna go through it, you could always look it up. The only PTC thing is Port Washington branch, but there's other stuff also with second track going ahead, would be an issue, because, weekend outages. There was I won't go through, there's a whole every, I don't know, 6 months or so, maybe every year, I don't know, there's this whole thing, strategy plan, with stations that are renovating this whole thing and other stuff like that. So, I mean, if someone wants to take a look at it, you can. It's called the Network Strategy Study. It's in the last board book. The thing that there was a contract for station renovations at Great Neck, Valley Stream, Northport, Baldwin, Bayside, and Ronkonkoma. So we should probably get ourselves involved with, what's going on, what's going to happen there, and how that's going to be done. Maybe get a briefing on that in the next couple of months, because that contract was just awarded. So if we want to have some, input into that.
just redone
Huh?
a couple of years ago.
What was?
Baldwin and Valley Stream was just completed also, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I don't think it's been too long.
Valley Stream is,
Valley Stream's in
I'll bet
pretty
it's
good
less than
shape.
2 years.
No.
What's
What
the
they
one
did-
that's
It's
a
not
pit?
2 years,
Lindbrook's
but
the one
it's-
that's a pit, right? Lindbrook's
They
the one.
rebuilt the whole
Valley Stream's
station
in
house.
actually pretty good shape.
They rebuilt the station.
That was
house
my
a couple of years
understanding,
ago.
Yeah. I mean,
Baldwin, the same thing.
Design build services for amenities. Oh, these are only amenities at these stations.
Oh,
I don't know what they're gonna-
okay, so they're gonna put the, they're
But no,
gonna,
no, but
they're gonna put the Wi-Fi and the
Right, they're
charging
gonna do that,
stations and
those.
all
It's
that.
part of the
That's
enhanced
right, I
station
read the wrong-
initiative.
That's what I was talking about, that he promised to
Yeah.
involve us in, that we haven't heard from.
Right,
So I was talking
and
about-
no, but the main stations, I'm sorry, it's Northport, wait, where are the stations? I read the wrong list of stations. Northport for station building renovation. New floor, actually, there's some other stuff going on here. Where's the list of stations? Because I went through them.
She read them to us at the last.
Northport Station, Northport is actually more than this, but they're gonna put in more stuff at these stations. I mean, the amenities include Wi-Fi, charge ports, things like that.
Yeah, that's the enhanced station initiative.
Yeah, which isn't,
Yeah.
but
Hope
still,
it's
as you
not-
said, I don't know if, there's still some other stuff being done there.
I hope the charging ports are better than the ones in Penn and Jamaica, 'cause they're all gone. As fast as they put them in, the people break.
Northport, I don't think Northport's accessible, is it? Not sure. But we should get ourselves involved with the amenities thing, and
That's what
stuff
they,
like
that's
that.
what they promised that we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah.
so we're alerted, we can go start asking for that. Okay, that's just, just that thing on PTC and equipment, the M9 is supposed to come in and it's supposed to be monitored, so I think the equipment shortage is gonna become an issue for us as we move forward.
Staff?
You want me the big staff? I guess it's big for me. I'm retiring in the fall, so. The executive committee has been told about it, and I'm trying to work to get some kind of information out of our HR department, so we can get, you know, we can get somebody in to replace me pretty quickly and have a fairly seamless transition. But October, it looks like early October is going to be my last. So I may or may not. I probably won't make your October meeting, but I'll be here in spirit.
It could be delayed due to technical problems.
Yeah, right.
That your retirement as
Yeah,
well.
that's right. We could have a yeah. Nah, but anyway, that's it's you know, sort of a, you know, family decision, and you know, it has nothing to do with the work. It has more to do with the ability of myself and my wife to get around, and you know, the difficulty, particularly her difficulty getting around the city and all that stuff. So,
Bill, do you have any idea when you're putting your house up for sale?
I don't know. It may be
No, I just want to get an idea of.
Well, you
think
think
you're
you're buying?
No.
probably later in the, yeah, you can, it's a nice water view from one window anyway. But yeah, probably later in the year. It won't be soon. It won't be soon.
Now, how will that work with your replacement? I mean, is it something that the MTA is gonna handle with an interior, with a
Well, it will be,
post office?
it'll be done through MTA HR because we're on the payroll now. But it would be the, you know, presumably people from the executive committee would be doing interviewing and choosing.
Oh, okay, because I mean, that's what happened when you
Yeah.
came on board.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the, you know,
Get
it
around
would be,
interviews.
but I think they'd work it through them. When we replaced for Bradley's position when he was promoted. It was actually a pretty good flow of things. HR got the resumes, sent them back to us. We said these are the people we'd like to talk to. They set up the interviews. We were in on the interviews, and then we just talked with the HR guy and said, this is the ranking we think we have. This is the person we'd like, and then they do the salary negotiation and everything like that with them.
And the executive committee and, of course, Ellen have been sent the current job description of executive director, and I am sure there have been a lot of changes. You've got some changes in mind. Ellen certainly does.
I haven't gotten it.
There's
Yeah, you're a member of the executive committee.
Yeah, you should have. I sent it out to the.
Send it to
I'll
everyone.
send it- I'll send it.
Well, we'll have it resent. Ira, you got yours, yes?
I don't remember seeing that.
Okay.
The current job description for executive.
I got it, Randy got it. I can't imagine you guys didn't get it, but
Just as Gigi did.
we'll resend.
Yeah. No, it doesn't say that. I mean, it definitely doesn't say that.
Was it
Anyway,
today?
no, this has been. I think it was right after the
You'll be
the
prepared.
meeting?
You'll be
Right after the last
Yeah,
exec
exec.
committee.
last exec. I'll send it again though.
Okay.
Send it again.
All right, member reports, anything in your community that we need to know about, Mike?
Just signage, just that
Jerry,
awful signage.
Nothing I haven't spoken about already.
Okay, the other stuff we already.
I think the other stuff we
went through
checked,
before
we covered all
before
of
the
it.
meeting.
Except, what meet the council, do we wanna talk about doing one of those? I mean, we said we were gonna do one in Brooklyn. I can.
We do, I think that,
You know, my thought was we could do it, if we wanted to wait that long, we could do it in, on June, we could do it June 14th, which would be our normal meeting day if we had met in June. Or we could try to set something for May.
well, let's follow up on the things we talked about before, and then
Yeah.
we'll see what members, and then we'll go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's, we mainly need people to show up, because it's not much of a meet the council, there's no council to meet.
All right, anything else? Okay, we discussed that stuff, good. Anyone have a motion to vacate the building?
Motion to cut in
I'll
line.
second it.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody.
I have the Hill